Hello, today is lesson number 2 for Cristofori's Dream by David Longs. So, as in number 1, we want to remember to continue practicing blocked chords, applying the 5-finger technique of lifting of the wrist afterwards, to be able to play gracefully or flowingly, as he suggests at the beginning of this piece. Once you are able to successfully play these blocked with both hands, practice playing each one individually broken. Starting without pedal. Each note should sound exactly the same as all the others, keeping the notes even, maintaining a nice flowing line of music. Continuing with the left hand, etc. So, now we started with melody. Melody begins on the 3rd system, which in our music begins on measure number 9. So, we have established our fingering. Then it begins, remember, an octave higher than written, so our music begins right up here. I need to move the camera so they can see that. Let's maybe... Okay, so welcome to lesson number 2 for Cristofori's Dream. We are now working with melody for the right hand and adding the accompaniment with melody. So let's go ahead first, start off by reminding you, please practice the accompaniment in blocks and then broken with both hands. Make sure each of these notes is exactly even with the others so that it remains a nice flowing undercurrent. Now with melody. Melody begins up here on D6. Okay, so we're playing an octave above D5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tied. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, one thing that the composer Frédéric Chopin suggested is the importance of shaping the note as you depress the keys on the keyboard. So we want to apply the flowing or the 5-finger technique of lifting of the wrist and shaping, molding that note, even if it's just one note. And notice how we bring the wrist up. We end on finger number 4 on F. I think it would be a good idea to finger substitute to 1, so that brings your 3rd finger here, being able to play once again with that figure. Make sure it's 1 and 5 and 1. Okay? And then we come down the scale to end on A, which is the dominant of D minor. Okay, so let's practice that a few times. Make sure we got that down. Afterwards, we're going to continue on to the next measure, which will bring now intervals. This first interval is a 4th. We begin fingers 1 and 2. These are to be played evenly. Sometimes when we play intervals like this, we want to sound the higher note a little bit louder than the bottom one. But that's not the case here. We want each of these notes to be played perfectly harmonically. And then when we play way up here, we want to bring fingers 2 and 4 a little bit further into the black keys so that when fingers 3 and 5 come down, they can just come down very comfortably and not have to be moving up so much with the hand. Just like that. So remember your fingering. Practice it very slowly. 1 and a 5 and a 1. That is the correct count. If you would like to simplify the count, you may say 1 and a 2 and a 1. And we end here on fingers 1 and 2 again. This is where we're ending. You may end up there for the fermata if you'd like, because that ends the phrase. So once again, let's go through all of the melody beginning on measure number 9. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and a 5 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this note is held for the fermata. When we release, we begin with the intervals. Make sure each interval is played exactly even. We don't want to play one after the other like a broken interval, like arpeggios. Now, we want to make them sound as one. And then, of course, just like that. We want to practice each of these intervals, especially when we're moving our fingers around in different hand positions, very carefully, to make them sound even. You may start off playing these intervals loudly or at forte so that you can become comfortable at first. But eventually, these need to be played very softly and lightly. Okay? You're moving up in a sequence. Now remember, when you do the hand position change here, we're on 1 and 3 for E and G. Your first finger remains as your fingers 2 and 4 come down for D and F. And this one remains 3 as you come down to this interval here. Okay? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and a 5 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Held for the fermata. Go. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to put this all together, both hands together. Let's try it first without the pedal. Okay? Bare bones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, of course, we come in with the left hand. I would recommend playing the left-handed part starting with finger number 3. Kind of a counter melody. Or emphasizing the downbeat. It's just imitating the first note of each of these grouplets. And then we replace the left hand for the accompaniment, and the right hand plays melody. Now notice that your fingers are going to collide here at this part of the music before the fermata. The right hand plays the A, and this is where using the pedal is going to come in. It's going to come in for help. Okay, so let's go ahead and play that part just right there with the pedal. We're going to start at measure, at measure number 13. Okay. So the way you achieve that with the pedal is you want to establish that A in the melody exactly as that measure begins. And as you repeat it with the left hand, you still hear that stretch or that wave that has been initiated in the water. And it's still moving, you still hear that A, and it's flowing down the river. And it's as though these are two different notes, although they're exactly the same key. You hear how I established it as two different notes? That's what you want to achieve. Then we're going to move on to the intervals in the right hand. Always maintaining the left hand softer and the same, while the right hand is the part that sings, because that is the melody. Okay, let's go ahead and put this all together so we can hear it now with pedal. We want to always change the pedal after every chord, after every sonority, after every change in the harmony. We don't want harmonies to bleed into themselves. Okay, here we go. And so with those bass notes, we're just establishing the groundwork for our music. So please practice this one hand at a time and then slowly put it together. Now, the most difficult measures that we will be putting together are going to be measures 12 and then, of course, measure, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I measure number 20. That's where we have the opposing or the contrary rhythms going on while this is going on. What you can do to practice this is simply review or to repeat the left hand as an ostinato. Just keep doing it. And work one note at a time and progressively build all the other notes into your measure. So we're going to put this measure essentially in a loop. Okay? Start with the first note. And then put the second one in. And when you put the third one in, remember that note needs to come after the third note, which is after the A in the left hand. Just like that. Okay. And then we'll try that again. Now I'll put in 4 notes. Start the loop, or start the art sonata in the bottom. And then now put 5 notes. Always know which notes are supposed to come together. The first 2 notes come together. The third note does not come together with the bottom note. And come together there on the next measure. Same thing with the last one, measure 20. Start with 1 note at a time. Remember, comes after, the right hand comes after the A there. And of course you're going to have to work in the special fingering for that measure there. So practice this during the week, and we'll hope to have it ready for next week at your lesson. Good luck.